Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Marina Grosu from Washington, D.C. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Praying for world peace and for war victims, Pope Francis has condemned war as madness, which always results in the defeat of humanity. After wrapping up his catechesis at this year's first general audience, Pope Francis addressed pilgrims and asked for prayers for the tragedy occurring in Palestine and Israel, as well as in Ukraine. The Pope exhorted the faithful to keep in mind the victims of violence in numerous other regions of the world, especially the persecuted Rohingya brothers and sisters. He also prayed for the victims and rescuers affected by the earthquake in Japan and the crew workers killed in an airplane collision in Tokyo. Twin explosions near the tomb of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani claimed the lives of at least 100 people, with over 170 sustaining injuries in the city of Kerman. The tragic incident occurred as crowds gathered to commemorate the death anniversary of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a U.S. airstrike in 2020. Soleimani was sanctioned by the United Nations and the European Union and was designated as a terrorist by the United States in 2005. The influential figure is widely recognized as the mastermind behind Iranian policy in the region. No group has claimed responsibility. The death toll from the explosions is expected to rise, as many of the wounded remain critical. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi said in a written statement that the agents and perpetrators of this grievous crime will be undoubtedly punished. Iraq, EU, Turkey, and some other nations such as Pakistan, Lebanon, have condemned the Kerman bombing in the strongest terms, expressing their solidarity with the Iranian people. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, has also extended his condolences to the victims of the attack. Recently, Israel's military uncovered compelling documents, video footage, and photographs indicating the involvement of Palestinian children as trained fighters for terrorist organizations Hamas and Islamic Jihad. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, informed Fox News Digital that more than 170 children are actively involved in the military wings of Hamas and Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip. Hamas attacked southern Israel on October 7th, resulting in the death of 1,200 people, and more than 240 were taken hostage. Meanwhile, the drone strike this week that killed senior Hamas leader Saleh Arouri could escalate the Israel-Hamas conflict into an open war across the Middle East.
On Wednesday, Hezbollah leader Sayyed Hassan Nasrallah issued a threat to Israel, asserting that the Lebanese group is unafraid of war. Nasrallah condemned the drone strike in Beirut that killed Saleh Arouri, a senior Hamas leader, calling it a flagrant Israeli aggression and a major, dangerous crime during a televised speech reported by Reuters. Nasrallah directly addressed Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, stating that Israel would not succeed in achieving the war's goals. Also, the European Union's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, expressed concerns that the death of Arouri may lead to an escalation of the Israel-Hamas conflict, potentially evolving into an open war in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Maronite bishops voiced their concerns over the increasing military tensions in southern Lebanon. Patriarch Bishop Alvarez denounced the killing, destruction, and abuse of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. During their monthly gathering, they expressed apprehensions about widespread destruction in various villages and towns. The bishops highlighted that this escalation had already reached the southern suburbs of Beirut. They urged an immediate and lasting ceasefire as a crucial step toward initiating negotiations based on a two-state solution. News Desk, SW News.
Ukraine and Russia on Wednesday announced their first prisoner of war swap in almost 5 months. Over 200 prisoners were freed from each side after a comprehensive negotiation that included the United Arab Emirates as the mediator. In what is described as the most significant documented troop swap, Ukraine released 248 Russian military personnel, while Russia freed 230 Ukrainian prisoners, including 224 soldiers and 6 civilians. This was the 49th prisoner exchange of the war so far. However, on Tuesday morning, Russian warplanes fired a series of hypersonic cruise missiles on Ukraine's 2 biggest cities, leaving at least 5 people dead and wounding at least 130. In a latest development, the Nicaraguan dictatorship led by President Daniel Ortega and Vice President Rosario Murillo has released images documenting a health checkup of Bishop Rolando Alvarez of Matagalpa. This move came after the U.S. government demanded the immediate release of Bishop Alvarez and other religious leaders who were unjustly detained in Nicaragua. However, several prominent Nicaraguans, including deportees, have criticized the sharing of the photographs, stating that it is an attempt to manipulate the narrative. They asserted that this was a ploy by the dictators to alter the story and create an impression of the bishop's fair treatment while being unjustly imprisoned. Bishop Alvarez, arrested in February 2023 on charges of so-called treason, has been in custody for over 500 days now. Christian lawyers have won a trial to restore the illegal transfer of a cross in Spain. The Spanish Supreme Court has ruled that the transfer of a cross in Betsy City in 2019 was illegal and must be returned to its original location. The monument, known as the Cross of Calvary, was installed in 1963 in memory of the combatants in the Spanish Civil War. The Betsy City Council moved the cross to the municipal cemetery, claiming that it was in poor condition. The Christian Lawyers Foundation filed an administrative procedure against the City Council's decision last November. The president of the Christian Lawyers Foundation, Poland Castellanos, expressed her hope to replace many more crosses in defense of religious freedom. A German pro-life organization has criticized a recent statement by the German Medical Association president, who called to tighten actions against pro-life demonstrations in front of abortion centers. The Action for the Right to Life of All condemned the statement of Klaus Reinhardt, who urged the government to improve the protections for abortionists. He underlined the need to adequately shield the doctors from so-called abuse, intimidation, and assault, claiming that they occasionally deal with radical activists. In response, the pro-life organization's chairwoman, Cornelia Kaminski, clarified that there were no reports of attacks by pro-life activists. Instead, during the peaceful pro-life demonstrations, they had to seek police protection against attacks by abortion supporters. At least 12 persons were killed and one abducted by suspected Boko Haram terrorists dressed in military uniform in the Chibok local government area of Borno State of Nigeria. Reports indicate that the assailants, armed with AK-47 rifles, targeted a New Year celebration, opening fire on people returning from Gadamarwa. Subsequently, they attacked the Tisha community, resulting in 3 deaths and the abduction of a young woman. The attackers also looted food and set houses on fire. Borno State Police Public Relations Officer Nahum Daso Kenneth confirmed the incident, stating that 12 bodies were recovered. The police commissioner and other security heads have initiated an investigation to apprehend the perpetrators. An Italian Catholic priest has been excommunicated by his local bishop for publicly committing a schismatic act while celebrating Mass. Father Ramon Guidetti, during a homily, said that Pope Francis is not the Pope and called him a usurper. In a decree published on January 1st, the Diocese of Livorno in Tuscany informed the faithful that Father Ramon Guidetti has been automatically excommunicated and that the faithful are banned from attending any masses conducted by the excommunicated priest, and violating that will put them at risk of excommunication as well. The controversial incident happened on December 31st, 2023, when the priest delivered a homily on the first anniversary of Pope Benedict XVI's passing. The Catholic University of America has announced that it will serve as the premier sponsor for the 10th National Eucharistic Congress, scheduled to be held from July 17th to the 21st, 2024 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Catholic University will be the largest college or university sponsor of the event. The university is eagerly anticipating having a major presence at the Congress. The sponsorship will include the development of program of activities specifically for priests and the provision of 2 spaces where Catholic University can engage with attendees at the conference. An estimated 80,000 Catholics are expected to gather in Indianapolis to participate in the National Eucharistic Congress, a significant event devoted to reviving faith in the real presence of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. This gathering marks the culmination of a 3-year-long National Eucharistic Revival Initiative launched by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops on the Feast of Corpus Christi in 2022. Hollywood star Shia LaBeouf has officially entered the Catholic Church nearly 15 months after revealing his acceptance of the Catholic faith in an interview with Word on Fire ministry founder Bishop Robert Barron. In the interview with Bishop Barron, he said that playing the lead role in the movie Padre Pio inspired him to delve into Catholicism. The news of his confirmation was posted on the Facebook page of the Capuchin Franciscans, Western America Province. The post requests prayers for LaBeouf as he continues to deepen his faith and seek God's guidance in his life. LaBeouf's confirmation sponsor, Capuchin friar brother Alexandra Rodriguez, told Catholic News Agency on Wednesday that the actor also wants to become a deacon sometime in the future. The 37-year-old actor rose to prominence with his role as Louis Stevens in the Disney Channel series Even Stevens. He also appeared in various films, including the Transformers series, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and Fury. On New Year's Day, Archbishop Dom Gilberto Pestana of São Luís Maranhão blessed São Luís Island in Brazil with the Blessed Sacrament from a helicopter. The Archbishop conducted the blessing following a morning mass at Carmelo São José. Despite initially planning to bless 21 locations, only 8 were covered due to rain. The Archdiocese confirmed that the blessing was valid for the entire São Luís Island. Archbishop Pestana initiated this tradition during the COVID-19 pandemic, responding to numerous requests for blessing the island. This is the 3rd year that the Archbishop has performed this blessing. And those are your latest headlines. Join us again tomorrow for more. You can also visit us at swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.